Hi everybody, my name is Skylar Rose and I'm so excited to come to you guys today. Today I'm going to be doing my first video and it's going to be a prom look, prom glam. I know a lot of people are going to prom this time of the year, so I hope that you guys like it. If you want to see how I got this look, just stay tuned. Thank you guys. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. Now let's get started. The first thing I'm doing is applying Scotch tape to the corners of my eyes. Now I'm applying my primer, which is MAC's Paint Pot and Painterly. And I'm going to apply that evenly on both eyes from the eyelid all the way to my brow bone. Now you want to make sure that you distribute that primer evenly on both eyes, because when you apply that eyeshadow, you want the color payoff to be the same on both eyes. So as you saw that I put more on my left than my right, so I just went in to clean that up a bit. Now I'm going in with Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee, and I'm applying that to my crease as my transition color. Now you guys can see. Now I'm taking Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie, and I'm only putting that at the outer corner of my crease. Then I'm going to take a Morphe eyeshadow in the number 62, and I'm also going to apply that to my crease. I'm going to apply that in my outer crease and in my inner crease. And you want to go in with a light amount of product at first, and if you have to go back to pick up some product, go ahead and do that. And all I'm doing now is just making sure that it's well blended in. Now I'm applying Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek into my crease. And I'm putting that a little bit lower than those other three transition shades that I had, just to make sure that it's more of a gradient effect and it looks well blended. So what I found is that the red from the Cocoa Bear just wasn't showing up on me. So what I did is I took a red maroon color from my BH Cosmetics palette and I applied that on my crease. You guys can feel free to find any red or maroon color that you like and apply that to your crease also. So now I'm just blending it. I picked up some more of that creme brulee and now I'm just blending all of those colors together yet again just to make sure this look looks seamless. And when I blended it, I noticed that that color went away, so all I'm doing now is packing some more on there. Now I am going in with a black eyeshadow. You can do any black eyeshadow, and I'm just creating an outer V with that eyeshadow. And I'm just putting that at the corner of my eyes. And of course, I'm just blending it in. Especially with the black eyeshadow, you want to blend it in because the black shows very harsh lines if it's not blended in well. Now for the star of the show, I am using MAC's Pigment Naked, and I'm just packing that onto my lid. Now when you apply this pigment, you want to make sure that you don't open your eyes until that pigment is dry. Otherwise, if you open your eyes, you're going to end up with that mark that I have in my crease. But that's okay, I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. And now all I'm doing is just packing that pigment onto my other eye. And I'm using packing motions instead of swiping it on there. Now I am going in one more time with that black just to make sure that black shadow and that pigment is blended together. Now from the hard part, the wing liner. First I'm going to start from the middle and I'm going to take that all the way to the corner of my eyes. Then I'm going to start with small strokes and take that from the inner corner all the way back to that middle where I started. And then from then I'm going to draw my wing. And you can do it however as long as you want or as short as you would like it. And all I'm doing from there is attaching that wing back to that middle part of the liner. And any areas that you feel that you have to fill in, you can just fill in. Now moving on to brows. I'm drawing a line on my bottom brow to trace my brow out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in my brow using that bottom line. All of that pomade that's on the bottom line is what I will be using to fill in the brow. Now I'm just taking small strokes and using that bottom line yet again to fill in that brow. Now this brow is pretty full already because my brows are full, but I have recently just started trimming them or like shaving them, and I shaved a little bit too much off, so on my left brow you'll get to see me kind of fill it in. But this one, like I said, is already pretty full, so it doesn't take much work. But in the front, you want to make sure that it's very light because that's where you have the least amount of hair in the front of your eyebrows. So in order for it to look natural, you want to make sure there's the least amount of pomade or whatever product you're using. You want to make sure that there's the least amount at the front of the eyebrows. And I also don't trace my top of my brow because I want it to look as natural as it can, and I think that this just tracing the bottom is the most natural way of doing your eyebrows. Now you can see I'm doing the same on my left, but this one I'm going to do a little bit differently because like I said, there is some hair that is trying to grow back. So I'm just doing the same thing, kind of creating a tail and doing a bottom line, and I'm going to be filling it in. And I will, because there's hair missing on there or the hair is growing back, I am going to trace that top just so that it'll match as closely as possible to my other eyebrow and just so that it'll look natural and I can fill in those sparse areas. So you can trace it to your desire and then just fill it in with whatever's remaining on the brush or whatever's left on that bottom trace that you originally made. Again, filling in that beginning, trying to have a light hand so that I'm not putting too much product at the front of my brows. And what you can also do if you feel like you've put a little bit too much product, you can use that spoolie on the other end and you can kind of spoolie it off. It's kind of like a blending brush. If you look at your blending brush or like how you blend eyeshadow, like I said, you blend it so your look doesn't look so sharp. That's the same thing that you're going to do with the spoolie. And if with the spoolie you take off too much of your product, just use whatever's left on that brush and fill it back in like you see me doing right here. And I'm just using MAC Studio Finish Concealer just to clean up any mistakes that I may have made. I'm just using a small concealer brush to clean that up. can see, I'm tapping, always tapping with that beauty blender, because you don't want to swipe, because it'll take off not only your concealer, but it'll swipe off some of your foundation too. So always use tapping motions. I'm setting that concealer with Midnight Banana Powder, and I'm just using a makeup sponge that I got from my local drugstore. I'm going to leave the setting powder on for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I guess I'm just going to do a little bit of dancing, trying to get ready for the turn up. Now I'm ready to take off the powder, so I've taken it off, and now I am contouring. The way I like to contour is you want to feel for the hollows of your cheek, and that's where you know that that's where you're going to put your contour. And you're ready to blend. Now, if you can see, I start to blend up because I don't want to blend down. That's going to reverse your whole purpose of contouring, because the purpose of contouring is to make it look like you have lifted cheekbones. I forgot the word for a minute. Now I'm adding blush. I am using MAC's Blush and Paint Twist. And I really like this blush because it's kind of a sheer tone blush, but it also has a little bit of shimmer in it, especially for darker skin tones. It's going to kind of give you a little highlight. And speaking of highlight, I am using Lorac Baked Bronzer. But for this bronzer, yet again, for dark skin tones, it comes off more of as a highlight. So that's what I'm using it as. And you'll see that it is an amazing highlight for darker skin tones in just a minute. Yes, that highlights. So now I am contouring, and I am using a Morphe eyeshadow. I believe it's in the number 15. And I'm just using a small blending brush from Sigma. And of course, all I'm doing now is just blending, making sure that you don't have any harsh lines. You want to blend, blend, blend. Now moving on to eyelashes. And what I do is apply the middle of the lash first, and then apply the corners to the eye. And I had to dance because obviously I was excited. Then I'm going to pinch the false lashes as close as I can to my natural lashes. And if they're high up, like you just saw, you can move them down or move them up while the glue is still wet. Now, sometimes when you're applying your lashes, your natural lashes will get in the way, as mine just did. So what I did was I flipped that band straight. So when I was applying it, that band was applying straight down so it can connect to my natural lashes. Yet again, I'm applying it from the middle first, then applying the corner, the outer corner, and then I'll apply the inner corner. And the inner corner is sometimes difficult to do because you have less lash in the front than you do in any other part of your eye. But yet again, what I'm doing is I'm pinching those together so it can give a natural look. So my natural eyelashes will blend in with my false eyelashes. And then once you're done with that, if you need to maneuver your lashes in any way, you can do that. Now I'm just applying some eyeshadow to the bottom lash, to my bottom lash line. I went in with the Cocoa Bear, that red that I was telling you about from BH, and I also put a little bit of that MAC blush on there. Now I'm just adding mascara to my lower lashes. And I am done, you guys. All you need to do is add on your favorite lip color. I didn't apply my lipstick on camera because the way I was applying it was not cute. But you can choose any lip color you want. I think a nudish pink would look great with this look. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.